Hi, my name is Daniel Crescitelli. I'm a UCF student and a member of the Sigma Chi fraternity, and I'll be reviewing my English 1102 experience. The course goals and outcomes were really a main focus for this course, and we did a great job of addressing and understanding them. The first one I want to talk about regards rhetorical situations, which are pieces in literature and in life that people are exposed to and brings their mind right to a memory or certain mood. Discourse communities, which are everywhere in daily life, that are any group of people and organize and function. They are all different and most have common people in it in search of common goals. And genres, which is the type of setting that is trying to be set or is around what the mood is being set is. The second is all about research and how we have learned to look at things. We have learned to look at everything from different angles and look into different aspects of literature and communities. It is important to get credible sources and properly cite where you get your information from, and also analyze it in different ways and see different aspects of it. In my class, we do a lot of group work and all work together to answer what is being asked, whether it was on an assigned reading or a general writing topic. We're usually assigned groups to work with. This helped me with communication and the sharing of different writers and opinions to formulate the most solid response, as well as giving me a lot of information on readings and concepts I might not have fully understood going into the day, and getting responses from my peers on my understanding. Fairly early in the course, we were tasked with choosing a discourse community with online communication that we were involved in to research and analyze. I chose Sigma Chi being that it is my fraternity. Before this, I had never really researched into communities, so I was a little lost on where to start. By the end of the course, I was able to really dissect the different methods of language and communication used in my fraternity, from rhetorical situations to visual rhetoric. I found so many sources of communication through our annual Derby Days fundraiser and how we advertise and communicate the event to the general community. I found examples of visual rhetoric on posters and banners we used to promote it, as well as many rhetorical statements we used to draw attention. I saw how we analyzed as a community what methods and forms of language worked best to make our event and fundraiser as successful as possible. For a primary source, I chose to interview a very experienced and decorated Sigma Chi. He is the current vice president at UCF and was my Magister or Pledge Master as a pledge. This interview with him opened up my eyes to what he did throughout his time within the community and how he used it to benefit while at the same time always coming back and giving back and benefiting the community. I spoke to him about the forms of communication, and he talked a lot about our Norman Shield handbook and how staying true to those standards is so important. We also spoke about Derby Days and how we use language to communicate the charity event around. Interviews like this can be very beneficial and can give a researcher like me a lot of valuable information. Throughout this course, I was tasked with engaging in readings based on discourse communities and researching. These readings were a great source to help a student understand the concepts, and they stayed relevant to what we were working on in class that week or day, as well as always focusing on our course outcomes and goals. I gained a lot of knowledge about different topics and used the writer's information in a lot of my assignments to better explain my point and add evidence to them. In my course, I had 4 major assignments that took a fair amount of preparation and planning. They all involve researching and analyzing my discourse community's language and communication in some way. I attacked most of these assignments by brainstorming topics to research and then go and actually look into them and see if they would be a good topic to write about. I would write my original thoughts on the research for peer review. Then I would get a revision plan and work to fix the areas that were weak and fine-tooth comb my entire paper, as well as gather some additional research if needed. I struggled at times to stay focused in my papers on the main concepts of communications and language. And now looking back, I feel a lot better on the main goals than I did when I started. Peer review was a major tool for me throughout this class. I utilized it in multiple ways. It allowed me to get useful feedback from my classmates on how my drafts were looking and how they could be improved. I also got to look into my peers' papers and see what they did good and bad, and I would use that to compare it to my paper to see if I felt like I was on the right track. I'd never really used peer review like this, although I had taken part in a few prior, and I was really able to see the benefits of when it is taken seriously. Before engaging in this course, I was very skeptical about why I needed this course. However, after going through the semester and really engaging and involving myself in this class, I've really increased my understanding of so many methods of communication within communities and everywhere, as well as improving my own writing skills and communication. I believe I became a much better writer and understand so many techniques and styles and how to research and analyze topics to bolster my argument and make my writing better. These things were accomplished by engaging in all the coursework and in class and taking feedback from my peers and instructor and using them to help me critique my writing. Something I gained that was totally unexpected was so much knowledge about my fraternity that I had researched in depths that I really never intended to, and found that I involved myself much more in the community because of it. I'm extremely happy with the outcome of this course, and I now understand why it is a requirement for any college student to involve themselves in.